Inside PressBox is presented by Freedman Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to Freedman.com now for all of your mortgage needs. And welcome to another edition of Inside PressBox. I'm your host, Stan the Fan Charles. This week on the show, we're talking Terps with the Terp Talk guy, Bruce Posner from ESPN Radio 1300. We're also taking a road trip with a heart as the Terps football team recently visited with some of the kids at the Herman and Walter Samuelson's Children's Hospital at Sinai. But let's start with a friend and one of Baltimore sports' greatest fans and historians, Michael Freedman. He just also happens to be a lawyer and an advertiser on this program, and as such, I also wanted to have him come on today to talk about a couple issues that are right up his alley: sports meeting intellectual property. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stan. Historian means I'm old, is that right?
That's kind of what it means.
Okay.
But seriously,
yes.
For those of us who suffered over 30 years kind of never having the football matching the baseball, both being good at the same time. You know, when the Orioles were great, it seemed like, you know, in the late 70s, the Colts were going down the tubes, and then the Ravens were horrible. The Orioles were good for a couple of years, and the last 12 years, it's been the opposite way.
Well, even back then, if it had been similar, you don't have the licensing explosion that you have today. So it really wouldn't have mattered. It's interesting how cities have an inaugural invitation and introduction to the licensing explosion. We had ours in 2001 with Festivus. We had a mini revisit of that this year with the Orioles. And cities have that. Once you have that first inaugural explosion, it's kind of like the first love. But it's really something when you catch it on the wave.
These shirts that came out this year, the ones with the birds, but they weren't the official logos of the team. Are they legal to put out?
They're well, anything's legal to put out until somebody tells you can't.
Right.
You know? But as long as you don't have, starting off with the logos, obviously you can't have them. If you have a bird and a raven and an oriole of some sort, you're probably not going to run into problems. You start running in problems when you have the colors, when you have the city names. That's when you start running into problems.
Now, you brought an example with you of a shirt. Can you pull that up?
Sure. Which one?
The Roethlisberger shirt.
You
were involved with the enemy, but you made a lot of money working with the enemy.
Yes, we did.
This was an example of a shirt that came out in Pittsburgh, about 7 years ago?
Yeah, just to be clear, I was friendly with the agent for Ben.
Not Ben.
Right. Not Ben. And what
Just
we
hold
did
it up
was
over here
we went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And this was the beginning of the Roethlisberger era. And as I just mentioned, people were going a little bit berserk, and anything that had anything to do with Ben was selling. For example, there was a T-shirt with a picture of the Tower of Big Ben in London.
Right, London's Big Ben.
And as long as it had anything at all with the colors of Pittsburgh, it was selling. Now, this obviously says Roethlisberger,
right.
And it's a brilliant shirt. It's a brilliant concept, except it's playing on Big Ben, right, who did not authorize the shirt.
Right.
Therefore, it obviously meant this was the Pittsburgh quarterback. And you see there's a little 7 there,
right?
Which
really,
intimates
his number.
It kind of right. It's his number.
What?
So we went to Pittsburgh and we put these people
out of business.
You know, I hate to be a mean person, but we did.
Well, let me flip to one other thing.
Yeah.
Do we have that picture up? Well, you know, recently this poker player, Greg Merson, who's from the Laurel area, who won the World Series of Poker, and there he is. He's wearing an Orioles jersey. It's an Adam Jones jersey that you can see.
When I put my glasses on.
And he wears a couple different ones. He wears the white one, the black one. Now, the Orioles can't stop him from wearing that jersey to play poker in.
No.
But what he's done, and you can't really see it that well in this picture, Michael, he's sold advertising to a couple gaming casinos. Couldn't the Orioles or Major League Baseball say, hey, you can't do that?
I think the first person that could do something about it would be Adam Jones.
Right.
Because it's intimating that he has made some kind of a sponsorship deal with these people, or he's representing these people, or he's supporting these people, which obviously he's not. So this young man is using Adam Jones to attract additional sponsors. So that is clearly a no-no. Whether it's something that the Orioles would get involved in, I'm not sure, because it's an Adam Jones. The shirt
they probably actually, given what they've been through the last 14 years, they're probably happy that somebody's giving them the attention now.
It's the Orioles. I'm not sure whether they are or they're not. But
hey, I want to have you on periodically to talk about intellectual property.
My pleasure.
All right? We've got a little bit of a longer segment on something tonight, this visit by Coach Etzel.
Well, I just want to be clear, this is a sideline of mine.
I know your main thing is accident work.
I just want to make sure everybody knows that.
The law offices of Michael Freedman,
Thank you,
my
Stan.
friend.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
very much for
Thank you,
coming
buddy.
on. Hey, when Inside PressBox returns, I'll be joined by my friend Bruce Posner, otherwise known as the Terp Talk guy, so don't go away. Inside PressBox is presented by Freedman Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to Freedmont.com now for all of your mortgage needs.